Picture this. You're 65, your pension feels tight back home, but you've heard Southeast Asia is paradise for Western retirees. Your dollar stretches like magic, the weather's warm, and life seems easy. Thousands of retirees have made this move to Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia. But here's what the glossy expat vlogs won't tell you. How you choose to live abroad matters more than where you live. Today, we're having an honest conversation about retirement in Southeast Asia. The good, the problematic, and what it really means to be a respectful expat. Because the truth is, you have more power and responsibility than you might realize. When you move to Southeast Asia, you essentially face two paths. Path 1, the expat bubble. You live in international compounds, eat Western food, hire full-time staff, and primarily socialize with other foreigners. You speak English everywhere and expect Western standards of service. This lifestyle costs significantly more, sometimes as much as living back home, but you get familiar comforts. Path 2, local integration. You live in regular neighborhoods, eat local cuisine, use public transportation, learn the language, and build genuine friendships with locals. This costs much less money, but requires cultural adaptation and flexibility. Here's the problem. Too many retirees want a low cost of Path 2 while demanding the privileges and treatment of Path 1. They want to live cheaply among locals, but still expect to be treated like wealthy foreigners who pay premium prices. You can't have it both ways. And attempting to do so creates exactly the kind of exploitative relationship that gives Western expats a bad reputation. Let's be brutally honest about the economics. Your modest pension from the West might be 10 to 20 times the average local salary. That's not just a nice advantage. That's enormous structural power. When you complain about paying $3 for a meal instead of $2, remember that $3 might be someone's hourly wage. When you bargain aggressively at markets, you're not being savvy. You might be taking money away from someone who genuinely needs it. Your purchasing power isn't just about what you can buy. It's about the relationships you create and the impact you have on communities. With great purchasing power comes great responsibility. Many Western retirees unknowingly perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Southeast Asia is cheap and easy. This reduces entire cultures to budget destinations for your convenience. The locals are so friendly and accommodating. Often, this friendliness is actually people being polite to someone with obvious economic power, not genuine cultural traits. Everything should cater to my Western preferences. Expecting English menus, Western toilets, and familiar foods everywhere send a message that local ways aren't good enough. These attitudes don't just hurt feelings. They create economic pressures that can distort local communities. Restaurants start catering only to foreign tastes. Traditional crafts get mass-produced for tourist consumption. Authentic culture gets packaged and sold. If you're documenting your retirement life online, through blogs, YouTube, or social media, you're participating in a new form of economic extraction. You're literally turning local culture, people, and places into content that generates income for you. Ask yourself, are the locals appearing in your content getting fairly compensated? Do they understand that you're making money from their image or story? Are you reinforcing stereotypes about Southeast Asia being a cheap paradise? What percentage of your content revenue flows back to the communities you're profiting from? If you choose the local integration path, learn the language seriously, not just hello and thank you. Eat what locals eat, shop where they shop, live by their schedules. Follow local customs completely, even when they're inconvenient. Pay fair prices without aggressive bargaining. Participate in community events and responsibilities. Accept that you're the outsider who needs to adapt. If you choose the expat bubble path, pay expat prices for expat services without complaint. Don't expect locals to change their systems for your comfort. Live primarily with other expats and accept that cultural distance. Support local businesses fairly when you do interact with them. Give back to the community through volunteering, fair employment, or charitable contributions. Treat local people as equals, not as service providers who exist for your convenience. Learn about local history, including colonial history, and understand your place in that context. Here's the ultimate test. Would you welcome someone like yourself moving to your hometown? If a wealthy foreigner moved to your neighborhood, paid lower prices than you, expected everyone to accommodate their language and customs, and complained when things weren't like their home country, how would you feel? Southeast Asian countries have opened their doors to you with incredible hospitality. The question is, are you worthy of that welcome? Your retirement abroad can be a beautiful chapter of cultural exchange, mutual respect, and genuine community building. Or it can perpetuate old patterns of exploitation and entitlement. The choice and the responsibility is entirely yours. Make it count. Before you pack your bags, answer these questions honestly. Are you running to something or from something? If you're escaping problems at home, you'll likely create new problems abroad. Can you handle being the minority? In Southeast Asia, you'll be the cultural outsider. Can you accept that gracefully? Will you learn the language seriously? Not just ordering coffee, but having real conversations about life, politics, and feelings. Are you prepared to be wrong? Your way of doing things isn't automatically better. Can you accept that? Will you contribute or just consume? What skills, knowledge, or resources will you share with your new community? Before you move, spend 6 months learning the language online. Connect with local community organizations, not expat groups. Research the colonial history between your country and your destination. Calculate a realistic budget that includes giving back to the community. After you arrive, find a local mentor, not another expat. Join local clubs, sports teams, or hobby groups. Volunteer at schools, hospitals, or environmental projects. Support local businesses owned by families, not international chains. Your retirement abroad can be a beautiful chapter of cultural exchange, mutual respect, and genuine community building. Or it can perpetuate old patterns of exploitation and entitlement. Here's what separates the good expats from problematic ones. Good expats ask, how can I contribute to this community that's welcoming me? Problematic expats ask, how can this place serve my needs better? The difference in those two questions determines whether you'll be remembered as a respectful neighbor or another entitled foreigner who took more than they gave. Southeast Asia doesn't need more tourists who never leave. It needs genuine community members who happen to be from somewhere else. The infrastructure, the hospitality, the affordability you're attracted to, these exist because of the local people's hard work and cultural values. You're not discovering paradise. You're being invited into someone else's carefully built home. The choice and the responsibility is entirely yours. Will you be a guest who becomes family or a tourist who overstays their welcome? Make it count. Make it respectful. Make it mutual. Your new community is watching. More importantly, you'll have to live with yourself.